Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to our Dhamma Chat with Bhante Soorakkulame Pemaratana, Dr. Bhante Pemaratana. So today I am here at Pittsburgh Buddhist Vihara. I am really honored to be here actually. I really appreciate Venerable Dr. Soorakkulame Pemaratana's invitation for me to come here. So thank you so much for joining Dhamma USA community. I have been actually waiting for you to show up with our community. So Bhante Pemaratana, you are the abbot of Pittsburgh Buddhist Vihara,
Yes.
and there is another temple, I think.
Yes, Cleveland Buddhist.
Cleveland Buddhist Vihara. And so how was your journey so far in the US?
Yes.
Would you like to explain a little bit?
Yeah. First of all, Bhante, it is an honor for me to be in your live stream program. And I have been watching, your this program, Dhamma Chat. I have seen that you have invited a lot of, scholar and practitioner monks from different parts of the USA. And it is an honor for me to be part of this. So yes, Bhante, here I came to Pittsburgh Buddhist Center in 2008, and then I was invited by a Pittsburgh Buddhist Vihara and also a monk named Bhante Mahimi Arianyana. And upon their invitation, I came here to serve at the Pittsburgh Buddhist Vihara, Pittsburgh Buddhist Center. And since then, I have been trying different ways to uh, disseminate the teachings of the Buddha to Sri Lankan Americans and also local Americans here. And I also pursue my studies while I am teaching the Dhamma at the Pittsburgh Buddhist Center. So therefore, I was able to study at the University of Pittsburgh. So we serve a large community of community here, including both Asian Americans and also local Americans. And as a result of a lot of result of long-term service, we were able to get many members to Pittsburgh Buddhist Center, and then eventually we also started another temple in Cleveland. We used to travel to Cleveland every month to conduct a program to Sri Lankan American community there, and eventually all this group get together, and we formed a Buddhist Vihara there in Cleveland. So that's how things are going on now, Bhante.
Thank you so much, Bhante. So, in your wonderful career as a scholar and also a Buddhist monk, I notice you are a very good scholarly monk. You moved to US in 2008.
Yes.
And then you did your PhD in religious studies from the University of Pittsburgh in 2017.
So, yeah, 2017.
And I'm so lucky that I could also visit there in person. That was a tremendously powerful place. I felt like. What was the motto of that university said?
It's Veritas Virtues.
Veritas Virtues.
Yeah.
Truth and morality.
Morality, yeah.
Virtues,
Truth
right?
and virtues, yes.
That's right. So it started in 1787.
Yeah, that University of Pittsburgh has a long history. It has been started in 1787. Of course, as small college, and then of course it's continuing to grow. So and it is now, yes, now it has become one of the great education institutions in this area. And the one landmark, of the university is the Cathedral of Learning, that you visited.
Yes,
it is the tallest building in the universities in the USA. Because
you could say tallest university.
Tallest university building, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the so that although it's called cathedral, the university is not related to any religious organization. It has been secular educational institution from the beginning. But because of the architecture, the nature of the building, is really a cathedral. So it's called Cathedral of Learning. So I enrolled into the doctorate program at the Religious Studies department. And so that department is located in the 26th floor of the Cathedral of Learning.
Yes. We went to the 36th floor, right?
Yeah, that is the highest floor.
That's amazing.
So you can see the whole surrounding.
The view, vantage point was really cool. Okay, so let me go back to your early days. How did you become a monk? And would you like to explain at your early stage as a novice monk, and then how was your education as a monastic uh, young novice monk?
Yes, Bhante, it's a long time ago. So I became a monk when I was a small child. I was, around 10 years old when I became a monk. And that was, due to inspiration I got from a grand uncle. My mother has an uncle. He was a school principal, and then he got retired, and he became a very religious person. And he had a very religious life. He observed, 10 precepts, at home, and he used to visit us. And I was really impressed by him, the way he conducted himself, and I wanted to be like him. So whenever I talked to him, he encouraged me to become a monk. And then I also, in my childhood, I remember visiting our temple in our village. I remember, seeing the temple. For me, temple looked very neat and very simple and clean. And I like to be that kind of environment.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever I came to my own house, my own home, and also other houses, I felt like all the houses are cluttered and they're noisy and they are not neat in a way. So I like the simplicity and neatness and the cleanness of the temples. And so I feel very comfortable to be in the temple. So I feel like at home in the temple environment.
Okay.
And then my grand uncle, and he really encouraged me. We used to call him Iskole Atta.
Skoliatta.
Iskole
Okay.
Atta, because he was a school principal.
Atta means grand uncle.
Grandpa.
Grandpa.
Yes. So he encouraged me to become a monk. And then when I told my parents that I like to become a monk, and my parents didn't like it. I was the eldest in the family. I had one brother and one sister, and so they didn't like it. They didn't want me to become a monk, and they have different dreams for me. But then I kept asking from them, and I told my grandparents about my idea to become monk, and they were very happy. They were very supportive, and they encouraged my parents to give their permission for me to become a monk. And after some months of negotiation and struggle, constant um, uh, request from my parents, ultimately they allowed me to go to monastery. And they sent me to further monastery where my grand uncle, my Skoliatta, used to live. So he can he could take care of me. So that's how they sent me to temple in Kuliapitiya. Okay. And because I was born in Anamadu, a little further away from my monastery. So then I was enrolled into the monastery as a young boy, and then I just follow the timetable,
Mm-hmm.
and I just follow the instruction of my master and other teachers. And after a few months of training, and they ordained me as a novice monk,
Mm.
and I remember, I really miss my home. As soon as I came to temple, monastery, I miss my home.
How old were you then?
I was 10 years old.
Oh, 10 years old. Wow.
Yes. And I remember I even cried,
Mm.
but it was not strong enough for me to go back to
Mm.
home. And then there were also other young monks at quite same age as me. So therefore, eventually I built friendships with them, and our elder monks and my master was so kind.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually I feel comfortable to be in the temple.
What is
Yeah.
the good name of your
Yeah,
preceptor?
my master is actually most venerable Attangani Sasanratana
Mm.
Nayaka Mahathir. And so he's the one who actually took me, and then trained me.
Mm.
And during that time, his master, which is my grandmaster, was also alive, but he was quite ill and old at that time. He was most venerable Verulugama Sri Ratan Jyoti
He's
Nayaka
still alive?
Mahathir. No, he passed away in 1986.
Oh.
1989,
Mm-hmm.
3 years after my ordination. But he was the Grand Master, but my master was most venerable Attangani Sasan Ratana Nayaka Mahathir. So, and then I just, at the beginning, I just simply follow the timetable, because in monastery, that in Bhante we have very strict regimented,
Right, right,
routing and timetables. There's a
right.
time to wake up,
Mm. Mm.
time to, go and, chant and meditate, and there's time to, clean the temple,
And no dinner?
yes. And even, we used to have a specific time to take bath.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
have 3 groups,
Mm.
so each group has to take bath at the particular given time, and the
Mm.
next group can go next.
Mm.
So it was a quite, disciplined and
Mm.
regimented, lifestyle. And then we had classes, in the monastic college.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to, follow those courses. And then, so by my master really encouraged me to study well,
Mm.
and also he encouraged me to study English.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea, what the value of the English.
Mm.
We know that in Sri Lanka, Bhante, in monastic education, we learn English, but that is not the priority,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So we learn English as a subject, not as a language, right?
Mm.
So we may know a lot of English, words, but we may not be like a fluent in speaking.
Most of the time we have Anglophobia.
Exactly, that's good word. But my master encouraged me from the from a very young age. You should study English, and
Mm.
he even gave me, arranged me, private tutors to
Mm.
come and help me. He sent me to English, classes and additional English classes. So I just, follow his instruction, and he always encouraged me. I remember when I was around, 12 years old, we used to go and pay respect to our master before we go to sleep.
Mm.
We had that
Yes,
habit,
yes, we
yeah.
have that habit.
Yeah,
Just like at home, we pay respect to our parents.
parents, yeah. So in the evening, your main schedule is after your chanting and meditation is to memorize, the Buddhist scriptures, and then after that, after study, and we supposed to go to sleep at 9 o'clock, and then before you go to sleep, we go and come and pay respect to our master. One day I remember I was just 12 years old. When I was paying respect to my master told me, you should focus on your studies.
Mm.
One day you should be a professor in a university.
Really?
Yes, I had no idea. I was just 12 years old.
Wow.
And
What
he
he
gave me
said
that.
became true.
Yes, he gave me that target. I had to be. So he gave me that goal, and then of course he's the one who will apply, for exams for me. He will say, okay, you had to write this exam, and he will apply, and I had to prepare and do it.
Oh, that's so wonderful
Yeah.
because actually we don't find that many good, wonderful Kalyanamitta masters.
Yeah.
That many. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
So
so
sometime
nice.
he will enroll me to 2 exams in the same year.
Okay,
So
okay.
then I had to work so hard, and I was like, sometimes I was too stressful. But I think maybe he believed in me, so he pushed me to study. At the same time, in our regular training, we also have to follow the monastic discipline.
Mm,
He was sort of very strict. He was very strict,
mm.
when it comes to discipline. And he
Vinaya.
Vinaya,
Mm,
yeah. If we have done anything wrong,
mm,
couldn't
mm,
like something not appropriate for monastic behavior, he's very strict, and he even will do some punishments, and even like very admonishments,
mm.
and he will do that. So therefore, I will, because of him and other monastic teachers, in our period in our monastic schools, I was able to study well, and also try to understand what the monastic life. So when I became a monk, I had no idea what the monastic life is, but through this education, through this through the age, we slowly slowly got to know that this is the monkhood.
Mm, mm.
And then we know that Bhante. So then I was, my master, pushed me to do all different kinds of exams at that time, and also, so and then I was able to complete my education well because of his help and other monastic teachers
So you were
at that
kind of
time.
balancing the traditional and the modern education both.
Both, yeah, because once we finish our monastic curriculum education, then in Sri Lanka, we have the chance to go to mainstream
Hmm.
education, right? So
Yes,
my
yes.
master encouraged me to go there also after my monastic, after I completed my monastic curriculum. Yeah. So then, and then actually, so when we at the age of 20, we know that Bhante, we had to we have a ceremony of confirming our monkhood, right? The
Yes.
higher ordination
What they call
ceremony,
Upasampada.
Upasampada.
Hmm.
So once you reach age 20, and if you have completed your studies, and then you are eligible to become a full monk, and then you have to make a decision, right? Whether you want to stay in
Continue.
monkhood, or whether you want to go
Right,
back.
right.
Yeah.
I remember when I was also undergoing that stage, my preceptor told, because we had to wear the white clothes before,
First,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Because
just before the
you are
Upasampada.
reordained,
Right, right.
again, before you get the higher
And
ordination.
that time he said, "Oh, you don't look good to this."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Totally
remember.
accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
those monks were very
Yeah.
kind, and they wanted us to
Exactly.
continue.
Yeah. I think the
So
one thing
you stayed 10 years as a
Samanera,
Samanera monk.
Samanera.
By the time you finished your um, education, like advanced level,
Yeah.
um,
Yes, advanced level, and
and
also
also Prachina,
yeah,
the Oriental
yeah,
studies.
Oriental studies. Yeah, I completed all 3 levels by that
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
So now my other question, like, as monks, we have to actually complete both of them, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the other people, they only do the modern education, school curriculum, but
Yeah.
we have to do both,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We have to study Pali language, Sanskrit language, and Buddhist scriptures, and then all the Pali text,
Yes.
right? And then in addition, we have to just study the secular, other mainstream
Sinhala
education.
language,
Yeah,
Sanskrit, oh,
yeah.
sorry, then
The
what do you
other
call it?
subjects like sociology,
English,
geography,
mathematics,
English. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. So how do you think like the monks are? I mean, in Sri Lanka, I think almost every monk, somehow they graduate.
yeah.
Almost all of them.
Yes.
I noticed
I
they
think
have graduated
I
from.
think in Sri Lanka, due to maybe historical reason, there's a big emphasis on education for monks, particularly because from the history, monks in Sri Lanka played a role of like leadership
Mm,
like when it comes to community leadership, and they
mm,
were the, I mean, before this modern education system was introduced to Sri Lanka, and monasteries were the educational institutions,
mm,
right, for the
mm,
common public.
mm,
So therefore, monks used were teachers, in the history of Sri Lanka. So of course they have other spiritual role. As a monk, you have to achieve your own spiritual goals, and you
right,
have to
right.
follow your discipline. But at the same time, in Sri Lanka, monks were also educators, and also they were also to some extent community leaders. Therefore, because of that historical precedent, and even right now, there's a big emphasis in the monks' training for education. Yeah, and because if you really want to go to the society and be a leader, you have to be well educated, right? In addition to be well disciplined. Of course, and without discipline,
So we
education.
call pariyatti and patipatti.
Pariyatti and patipatti. Yeah, discipline is also emphasized because without discipline, education has no meaning, right? So I think that is why, Bante, in Sri Lanka, in monastic training, we put a lot of emphasis on studies.
Yeah, I think Sri Lanka in particular also is good in their literacy rate, especially in the South Asia. Sri Lanka is into the mid-90s, right?
Oh, okay.
Literacy rate is concerned.
Okay.
And I would say like almost 100% monks have university degree. That's
yeah.
amazing.
Amazing, right? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah,
despite the
maybe.
fact they also have to maintain a lot of other spiritual needs. They have to cater to the demands of the society.
I
Lot of
remember,
temple
Bante,
work.
when I was a small monk, we had to do so many other, as to say, obligations while we are like studying, because of course we had to take care of the monastery. We all have cleaning jobs, right?
Yeah.
We are all assigned to like clean in a particular area, and also we had to fulfill obligation, monastic duties. In addition,
even cooking.
Yeah, even cooking. And in addition, we also had to serve the public. And we remember that every evening, and we will conduct some blessing services, some bodhi puja to people.
Dhamma talks,
Dhamma talks.
funeral services.
Usually a funeral happens in Sri Lanka in the afternoon. That is exactly when our classes are.
That's right, Pirivena. What we call Pirivena or Parivena, monastic school.
So we had to cut a lot of our classes to attend funeral of a devotee.
Yes.
And so we had to, when we come back, so we had to like find a way to cover the lessons that we lost. So and I have gone to so many funeral services, while during my class time. And so that is how monks study in Sri Lanka. Right.
That there is also, I think, a unique way. Like if there is a funeral, one whole class is going. Right.
Yeah, they try to like accommodate it, and then because
the other students can learn.
And then
so that rotate.
Yeah, and then you can have a makeup class for that later. Yeah.
So your temple was a monastic school as well?
Yes. I was ordained in a Pirivena.
Okay. What we call Moolika Pirivena?
Yes, called Sripati. It used to be Sripati Moolika Pirivena in Diyakalamunda, Kuliyapiti. And that is in Kurunagala district, and that's where my master is. And so that is Moolika Pirivena. And then now it has become a Mahapirivena, which is, maybe high school.
Upgraded. Yes. Very nice. So maybe for our audience, if you have also some questions, please feel free to ask. Maybe from a monk who has well versed in the traditional Buddhist education, was born and raised in a Buddhist country, and then he became a monk at a very tender age. And then he also completed his traditional education and also modern education. You studied in a prestigious university, University of Peradeniya.
In Sri Lanka.
Yes. Would you like to explain that transition from monastic education with a traditional background and going all the way to a very high demanding academic scholarship at the university? And as a monk.
It was a big transition, Bhante, because we used to study, Buddhist texts, and other subjects, in the monastic context, with lot of maybe devotion and respect, and we memorize text, and also we try to understand, and we study more like a spiritual tradition. But when we moved to university, and it is it's an academic studies and little critical approach. So it was at the beginning it was a time of adjustment, because now you have to study the same text that you memorized before with with the critical and approach. And we were also able to study like other subjects like psychology, and literary criticism. And so it kind of expanded my perspective in like how you can look at anything critically and how you can look at anything historically. So it kind of complements the monastic education. So we were fortunate to be trained under prominent professors like Professor P.D. Pemasiri. So it was definitely a period of translation, Bante. But I'm glad that that we were also able to learn those like academic tools. So you can balance, to balance your education and also your practice. Yeah.
So who were some of those prestigious professors? I know, like there were esteemed scholars, professors at the
Yeah.
Peradeniya, especially when you were studying. I remember some of them. I've been also to that university for quite a few academic
Yeah.
events.
Yeah, I think in because I was in the department of Buddhist studies, Pali and Buddhist studies, and during my time, the head of the department was Professor P.D. Pemasiri. And that during my then we also had a prominent professor. His name was Chetia Vitanachi. He's a historian and also anthropologist. And then we also got some professors from other areas, other universities also came and taught us, like Professor Asanga Tilakaratna and then Professor Sumanapala Galmangode. And we also had Professor PB Mikas Kumbure and those professors. And then after that, and I was also fortunate to serve as a temporary lecturer at the department. Then I got the chance to associate Professor G. A. Somaratna and Professor Suman Ratnaik. And during my time, actually, there was also other professor, the Professor Kotapiti Rahul and other professors. Yeah.
So, what do you think of Peradeniya University? If you want to, do you want to recommend that to our people who are wanting to learn something
Bhante,
about Buddhism?
because I have been living in the US for quite a long time. I visit Sri Lanka. I try to visit Sri Lanka every year, if not every other year. And I don't have but I didn't get much chance to visit the University of Peradeniya in recent years, so I don't know exactly what is the condition right now. But definitely, and that is a great place for study. And then, of course, in addition to, because in the very environment in that university,
that's what I was really fascinated about. Like, how many acres?
I'm sorry, Bhante.
I think it's hundreds of acres,
Hundreds of acres,
and the weather, the mountains.
Because surrounded by mountains and next to the Mahavali River. And actually, when this university was designed originally by first Chancellor Ivor Jennings, he was actually following the model of a University of Oxford, and using the river, both sides of the river, and he was he planned that university. But and also in terms of, and because of the environment, natural environment, and it's very easy for you to focus your mind on the studies. And in addition to environment, you also have good colleagues, who are who will, and then also good academic staff. So I believe that that is still that legacy still continues at the University of Peradeniya. But recently I didn't get a chance to really be in touch with the university because I'm so busy.
Right. Yes, I think Peradeniya University has been such a wonderful academic institute, apart from other Buddhist institutes in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
We have University of Peradeniya, University of Colombo, University of Jayawardenepura, University of Kelaniya, and also we have separate special two universities,
Yes, actually,
right?
of course,
Bhikshu
Bhante, you were
University.
an associate professor at the,
Yes,
Bhikshu University of in Anuradhapura,
right, right,
and that's really a great university. It's exclusively focused on, Buddhist studies
mm,
and
mm.
also, um, uh, in language studies and all other indigenous studies. And also, we also have
Buddhist and Pali,
Buddhist and Pali University.
University, and
Yeah.
then there's another postgraduate
Yes,
institute.
actually, Kalini University of Kalini has a separate um, institution which focus on master degrees and then master of philosophy degrees and PhD
Mm,
degrees,
mm.
and that is called Postgraduate Institute of University of Kelaniya.
Right.
Yeah.
You are still teaching there, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
online, right?
Yes, I'm a visiting professor, at the Postgraduate Institute of
Very good, very good.
University of Kelaniya. Yeah.
Nice. So, coming back to uh, the the amazing work that you do here
Yeah.
in the Pittsburgh area, especially. I had the opportunity to go with you, attend some help assist some meditation programs in different libraries,
Yeah.
Carnegie Library.
Yes.
And would you like to explain a little bit about that? Because I found that was really, really
Yeah.
fascinating because it's on the one hand, it's one of the duty of a monk,
Mhm.
to help the community. And on the other, that's really an amazing place where people can be communicated together.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yes, Bhante, it is a great opportunity we got, in Pittsburgh. Of course, we used to offer meditation sessions at our Buddhist center. So usually in the Buddhist center, we had weekly meditation. And then we really wanted to outreach and help people, because these days many people are looking for some kind of spiritual guidance and support, and also many people would like to learn the way to manage their emotions, and then and lower their stress level. So therefore, we thought that we should offer something beyond the Buddhist center.
Mm.
And I used to go to yoga studios,
Mm-hmm.
because in yoga studios you get a lot of people who practice yoga, and they are also inclined to practice meditation.
Mm.
So I first wrote emails to all the yoga studios of the area, and then introduced myself, and I told them that I can conduct meditation workshops and classes.
Mm-hmm.
So then I did. I used to go to those local yoga studios in those days. And then we got to this opportunity that one of the yoga teachers who used to teach yoga in the library
Mm. Mm.
contacted us and asked whether we can offer a meditation in the public library.
Mm.
And she also contacted with the library, and then get their approval also. So we thought that that's going to be an interesting opportunity for us to be in touch with the local community, because libraries are well connected to the local community, and libraries always offer a lot of services in addition to books in many local communities. So we talked with one library, and and they liked us to come and offer the meditation class, weekly meditation class, and the library promoted that. And then that slowly became quite successful. People living in that area, people who are connected to the library, used to come, with lot some, because it was more comfortable for them to come to their local library
Yes.
to practice meditation,
Right.
rather than coming all the way to the Buddhist center.
Mm.
And some may even have some
Right.
hesitance to go to a Buddhist center,
Right.
but they may still like to practice meditation.
Right.
So we try to, when we offer meditation in libraries, we try to make it, a practice that anybody can practice. We don't, impose on them any, Buddhist,
rituals or
rituals. Yeah,
anything,
we
right?
just
Right.
offer the
So they feel
practice. But if they
comfortable.
want more Buddhist service, we encourage them to come to the Buddhist center.
Mm.
Yeah. So when we start meditation in one library, and other libraries also got to know about it,
Mm.
and then they also invited us to come. So now we go to 3 libraries,
Yeah.
but there are
You
also
have more demands.
other invitations from different libraries. Then, but we have to manage our timetable.
I think this is a really, really amazing lesson, a message to all our other traditional Buddhist temples as well in the country.
Yeah.
I think if you want to be communicated with the local community,
Community. Yeah.
that's important that you write to places like you have to communicate with. You can't really close the doors. You have to open up avenues.
Yeah.
Maybe one way of doing it to write to them like local yoga studios
Yeah.
and then the public libraries. There are more opportunities
Exactly.
where
Yeah.
they actually organize community events like this.
Like this. Yeah.
I noticed that you have a separate table for Pittsburgh Buddhist Vihara.
in the library.
Right,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
library.
Because we used to go to one library before COVID, and during COVID, of course, we stopped our in-person meditation, but we still offered online meditation to those people who came to in-person meditation.
Mm.
Many people find it so helpful,
Mm.
because during COVID, we know that
You
Bhante,
can go
we are kind of
anywhere.
stuck
Right.
at home,
Yes, yes.
and we don't. So libraries are also closed, but we continue our meditation class through online.
Online.
So many people join online, and they were so grateful, for that, opportunity. And then of course after COVID, then in these libraries again want to resume their in-person sessions. Those people who come to meditation usually go and give good feedback
Mm.
to libraries. And then therefore once library administration, and when they know that this is, people like it, people are benefiting from it, and they will encourage us. So they will they will email us, they will schedule, and whenever they schedule their program for the next term, they will contact us in advance and get our confirmation,
Mhm.
and they will arrange it. In one library, actually, one participant who come to our library made a big donation to library in the name of our meditation program.
Really?
Yes.
That's
So
amazing.
so they made a donation to the library
Right.
in honor of our meditation program, because
Right.
they loved it so much. So they want to encourage the library to continue that service.
Just like Carnegie did.
Yes.
So that was Andrew Carnegie.
Yes. Andrew Carnegie.
There are two famous Carnegies. One is Dale Carnegie, the writer,
Yes.
and Andrew Carnegie, the
As an entrepreneur.
entrepreneur, industrialist, and philanthropist.
Yes. Andrew Carnegie was is the key person who actually started steel mills
Mm.
in Pittsburgh. Actually, in his um, um, uh, project, actually, he produced steel for the first time, and then and discovered that actually steel can be used to build buildings, and give the stability, a strong structure to buildings. So he became quite rich, because all the buildings in Chicago, all the high-rise buildings in Chicago and in New York was built by using the steels made in Pittsburgh. And so the Andrew Carnegie becomes such a rich person at that time. And then, of course, the the steel industry is not a pleasant industry. It involves a lot of labor, and also to some extent some environmental damage too. But we had to produce them. But later he distributed his wealth
Mm.
for the benefit of so many other people, and he supported art, music,
Mm.
and even he built a musical
Any
theater,
libraries? Yes.
art theater in New
Right.
York, and then he actually donated his wealth to libraries. And there are many libraries in the Pittsburgh area which is named after him.
Yes, I saw
Carnegie
that.
Library.
Mhm.
There's a whole library system called Carnegie Library Systems.
Mm.
And there are also libraries not only in Pittsburgh, in many other states and even other countries,
Mm.
supported by his donations.
Mm.
Yeah, so
I think I saw like he has donated those days $350 million for charity.
generated those
I
days.
mean,
Yeah,
those days it's
yeah,
still such a big
yeah,
amount. Right, right.
yeah.
Okay, that's really again
Mhm.
very wonderful. Coming back to the last end of our discussion now, in the in the temple here, what are the programs that you conduct? And I also want to learn from you, hear from you, maybe explain to our community why it is important to come here, because I see beautiful land
Mm.
and such a peaceful place,
Place,
and
yeah.
like over 9 acres something,
Yes, yes,
and also the creek that you have here is mesmerizing,
yes.
and you have a meditation trail.
Mm.
And why, apart from that, what are the programs that you have at the temple?
Temple. Yeah. Thank you, Bhante. So, thank you, Bhante, for those generous words about our center. Yes, we were in a smaller place for about 12, 13 years,
Mm.
and then our community grew, so we wanted a bigger place, and then we were looking for a number of places, but fortunately, we found this place, which is really situated in a nice, wooded area, surrounded by nice. Here like huge trees and forest, and also we have a creek, what you call Deer Creek,
Mm.
Deer Creek flowing next to our body center. And so we have, as Bante mentioned, we have a meditation trail and nice, surrounding peaceful place. So in this place actually we offer a number of programs, Bante. Of course, we have our weekly meditation on Wednesdays evenings, and then we also have children meditation programs.
Mm.
We offer that, children meditation programs every Sunday over Zoom.
Mm.
Also many children from other uh, states also join that program. And in addition to that, we also conduct camps, because
Mm.
we have enough land and
Mm.
enough
Mm.
space. Now we are getting ready to conduct our Dhamma camp for our children
Mm. Mm.
in few weeks.
Is it an annual?
Yeah, it's that
Okay.
camp is an annual camp.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, and then and we also provide. We also have like a monthly gatherings. Every month we'll have a potluck lunch, and then of course you offer the dhan to the monks, and then we have potluck lunch, and then talk and meditation. And during rainy retreat, this Vasana period, we have we have additional programs. Like
Mm.
even like tonight, we have
Mm.
a Dhamma talk.
Mm.
And then we also conduct meditation retreat. Still, we offer non-residential retreat because we still don't have residential facilities for visitors, but we have plans to build cabin houses throughout our property
Mm.
to give accommodation. But right now we offer non-residential meditation retreats, and we invite prominent teachers to come and teach, and we will definitely invite you to come and teach us.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And
I will
those are
definitely come back.
yeah, those are the some programs that we are offering here.
Yes, friends. So if any of you are like in Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania or adjacent states where you have access to this wonderful place, you can come over and talk to the monks, and especially the young children can be very benefited, because we have two monks who both have PhD degrees, very well trained, and they are very kind and really nice to people, and they maintain this beautiful center with the help of a lot of community. Local community is very much connected to this.
Connected to the Buddhist
Right.
center.
I
Yes,
saw you how efficiently you manage
yeah.
all the people from different communities also
Yeah, we have,
coming
of
here.
course, we have a sizable Sri Lankan community, and then we also have Indian community, some Thai, community, Vietnamese community, and then of course our local American community.
I
Yeah.
think more American people are
Yeah,
coming
actually,
here,
yes,
right?
Bante. I think we have more American members than the Asian members. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one more thing that I felt very inspired and really appreciative of Bhante Pemaratana's leadership and how he was, started from the scratch. And he has grown so big now, and a lot of people want his service, and a lot of people are really finding it very helpful. Both academic and the other people, they are both being benefited here with this center. And I found the creek, the forest that you have, and also that beautiful um, green forest here can be really a beautiful place for many people to come and meditate, come and just live here peacefully. And yeah, please help them build up this place, not only as a religious center, but also as an academic center, and then also a peaceful place where
A
you can
spiritual garden.
spiritual
Yes.
garden, peaceful center where you can come over and just look at the sit by the side of the creek, and maybe live in some kuti, secluded, and stay peacefully. Something like, do you have a model something like that of Bhavana Society?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, of course, I frequently visit Bahana Society, and Bhante Gunaratana is one of my great mentors. And but I think Bahana Society is like a big place. So I would say, our center may be like a nursery that train people who
Right.
can go and practice more at the Bahana Society.
Right.
Yes.
I know Bhante Ji also started with such a humble
Yeah,
way, and
yeah,
then he started. So, I mean, he has grown so big, and everyone respects him for his amazing kindness, compassion. And now you also have a place where he more potential
yeah,
to
yeah,
grow.
yeah.
And I really like that, far away from the city, not that far also, but
Also, yeah,
looks like very, very peaceful and remote area.
yeah.
And then you also can, once you have some kutis, I think also some places where someone can sit and by the side of the creek. I
Yeah.
just visualize,
Yeah.
and then you have
Yeah.
a meditative walking path,
Yes.
trail, like meditation trail, as you said, all over these
Property. Yeah.
property.
Mm.
That would be really, really amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Bante. So we just moved here about 3 years ago,
Mm,
and so those are our plans,
mm,
to like
mm.
really convert this place to a place of, refuge, place of spiritual growth,
Mm.
that anybody can come and practice here. Yeah, that's
Right.
our goal. So let's
Let's hope
let's
for the best.
yes, yeah.
Thank you so
Welcome,
much
Bante. Yeah,
for
welcome.
your wonderful time here with our community, and especially I would say our Dhamma USA community also is connected with Sri Lanka, India, and other countries, and it is midnight for them. I hope they will watch this later, and some of them are also still there. Thank you so much, everyone who joined us. Sud, Pramaha Pia, okay, I think he's from
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yes, and Wheel of Wisdom, and Susanta Senarath, Leonie Jens, and Maria, and Anjali, and all those people who joined us. Thank you so much. And I hope this was helpful to many. And also really appreciate Bhante, Dr. Soorakkulame Pemaratana's amazing work here, not only as a Buddhist monk, but also as an academic, scholarly monk who could actually deliver so much good for the well-being and happiness of the many.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Bante, for this opportunity. It is again an honor for me, and thank you for visiting Pittsburgh Buddhist Center. And I really wanted you to come. I have been inviting you to come here for many years, but
Yes.
I'm so glad that you find some time to come and visit us and help us with our program. And of
Right.
course, your talks and are really appreciated and really well received by our community. We really definitely want you to come back again. And thank you for visiting us.
Thank you so much. And so, with that, I would like to conclude. Before that, maybe a word of um, inspiration, motivation for the young monks. Do you have something to say?
Yes, Bante, for the young monks, I think if you got an opportunity to become a monk at early age,
Mm,
that is a blessing.
mm,
That's a blessing. That's the best thing can happen to
mm,
us.
mm,
So and it is not easy for us to remain as a monk.
mm.
But I really encourage our young monks, that and really focus on your uh, uh, discipline and also your study. And as a monk, we can do a great service to this world and also bring so much of happiness and joy and satisfaction to our life. So living the life as a monk is the best way to live this human life. So treasure this opportunity and treasure the sadhana that we have towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and then try to behave as a good monk, and discipline oneself, and then remember that I am a son of the Buddha. I'm carrying a legacy of a long tradition, and then study hard and study the Tripitaka, and also study English or any other foreign language, and then you can really benefit so many in your life while also experiencing this deep peace that we can gain as a result of our practice.
Thank you so much. That was so wonderful. And we both hail from such humble, remote areas of Sri
Yes,
Lanka.
yes,
And so we really enjoy that. Like we never went to very big names of those schools or something.
Mhm.
We started very humbly. Yeah,
So
you know,
anyone
those,
can do that, right? So
yeah.
if you
So
have discipline and focus, we can do that.
yeah, remember that discipline and also your focus, your commitment, your devotion. Those things are really important. You need to balance between pariyatti and patipatti also when you if you are a monk. That will also be very helpful. So looking forward to meeting another event like this in future as well. And tomorrow we are going to have our 100th Sunday Dhamma talk.
Oh, really?
Yes. So Sunday morning, 6 a.m. California time, Pacific Standard Time, and Eastern Time would be 9 a.m. So if any one of you are interested in joining our Sunday Dhamma Talk series tomorrow, please join us through Dhamma USA. And with that, we conclude, and thank you all for joining us. May you all be well, happy, healthy. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta.
Super.
Sadhu, sadhu.